Hello, listeners. It's me again, Dan Wheeler. No. It's actually, it's me, Danann McAleer. I think it is, anyway. But when I look in the mirror, I see the horror. The horror. It's all for you, Damien. Sorry. Don't know what that was about. Anyway, before this week's episode, we wanted to show our appreciation for some of the people to whom we owe a huge debt of gratitude. Our wonderful, gallant, and clearly medically deranged Patreon supporters. If you too crave a sense of purpose in this fragile little life and would like to emulate the ease and charisma with which these individuals seem to navigate the world, why not visit patreon.com/apocalypseplayers, where a veritable banquet of disturbing treats awaits you. For now, we pay homage to some of our heralds of the end times who support us at the £10 tier. The inimicable Alex Marks. The inimitable Alex Powell. Eric, for he needs no other name. The aptly titled Feather. Immortal Walnut. What a horrifying concept. James Suckling. Who knows what or where. Mark Thief. I'm not falling for that one again. Materialized. Fully, this time, I hope. The esoteric Quinn Alaria. The Sergeant Major. Thank you for your service, sir. The Senator Sheev. All hail, mighty Sheev. Timberheart. Probably want to get that looked at. And the singularly titled Will. Champions of the end times all. And their time shall come. Now, while I'm here, before we start this series, I feel I should inform you that this scenario acts as something of a sequel to both A Christmas Inheritance and A Residence of the Bay. If you haven't listened to those, but you feel the urge to press on regardless, well, I wouldn't blame you. No one tells me how to consume content either. And I'll lick the bowl afterwards too, even if Mother tells me not to. But suffice it to say that big spoilers for both previous scenarios are present from the start. So with that, sit back, pour a drink, and enjoy. The Apocalypse Players present An Uncommon Burial. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario written by Danann McAleer in the style of M.R. James. With Joseph Chance as Dr. Henry Carraig-Muire, Dan Wheeler as Reverend Peragrin McCutcheon, Dominic as Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts, and Danann McAleer as the keeper of arcane lore. Part 1. Just a messenger.
So, the return to the Whitby Bay and like you're sort of getting medical assistance and all that is a bit of a blur, but nothing. You ended up back. It was basically what I want to know is that was February 1900, and we're now in. The date is the 26th of April 1901. So we're just over a year later, and I just wonder. How have you been convalescing since then? And is there anything that you specifically as characters feel like you would have chased up or would have wanted to do in the time since? And all options are open to you in that regard. We can sort of take it in turns if that is easier, and we can sort of use it as a framework for the character development as well. See what you've been up to since.
Lovely.
So yeah, does anyone feel like kicking off? Bjarmia, you're just next to me on the screen, so I've got to do a little circle. I can go into more detail on stuff.
Okay. What do we currently, in terms of what's happened to Robert Thompson?
Yeah.
What do we know for sure?
You don't know anything solidly. I imagine, suspect that he's dead, because you realise quite quickly the postcards hadn't been written by him anyway that brought you to the place.
That was it.
And even though you know he was there because you found his journals, they seem to be suggesting a descent into madness. And the Reverend who you found out he'd been having a sort of romantic affair with, amongst other things, was terribly worried about him, and that there was evidence of the crows perhaps having killed people. You never saw anything that proved for a fact that he was dead, but it seemed. I doubt you were very optimistic.
No.
What's the end?
No.
Yeah.
But I think Bjarmia wouldn't just let that go. I think she, especially as she's indefinitely insane, I think she would struggle.
She'd go a bit baby reindeer?
Yeah. I think she'd struggle to accept the likelihood. So I think she probably goes back to Auster.
Yes.
And she probably broods for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I think her main problem is she probably
sorry.
Yeah, go on.
No, I was just going to say, is that her permanent place of residence? I can't remember. Because I know she was the choir mistress. I don't know if she still is. Yeah.
She probably doesn't. She's retired, but she still lives there, I think.
Like Pamela, she's still there quite a lot.
Yes.
She still just sort of rocks up to do her photocopying, etc.
Yeah.
Sit on the photocopier.
We told you that story. Anyway.
See that scar? Yeah. When I jumped out a window.
On my arse. I think
I did.
Because she's just rattling around her and her late husband's house. I don't think she probably has much social interaction with people.
He was the ex.
Tompkin, yes. An ex, late, deceased.
Sorry, not ex.
I think she probably doesn't have much interaction with people, so I don't think she'll have realised she has a mental disorder, because no one will have told her.
No one would dare.
No. So it'll probably be a while before she tries to get help in that regard, but I think her initial thing is she probably broods for several days, plays her pedal organ all hours of the night, wailing. Goes and rides her horse in the rain.
Oh, Judas.
Lovely.
And then resolves to try to get proof, real proof, that Robert's still alive.
Love it. Love it.
He must still be alive. I would know in my soul if he was gone. He can't be gone. And so I think I'd probably start making inquiries into... I don't think I'd go to the police, but I think I'd make inquiries to try and find someone who's good at finding proof.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So a private eye, basically.
Essentially, yeah. A consulting detective.
Private investigator.
Okay. All right, I like that. So we'll say it's maybe a few months of like brooding and contacting people and trying to come to terms with things, and then you've hired someone and sort of just given them the task of finding out what they can.
Well, there's the nightmares, of course. She definitely has the nightmares.
Of course.
And she's probably a bit insomniac now after all that stuff with the Hand of Glory.
Yeah.
And she's been reading.
Being pushed arse first through tunnels. Yeah.
Reading as much as she can about that area, trying to find out about that family. Maybe even trying to track down that vicar and like where he came from and
Yeah.
And then she realises she's going to need help because she can't do all this on her own. She can't go anywhere. And maybe that's the time she puts in a word with some old Auster boys. If you know anyone who's good at knowing things, it would be very helpful if we could arrange a meeting.
You'd hope someone would at a university, right? Yeah.
Yes.
You know anyone who knows anything?
The money is no issue.
The fee? Oh,
the money's no issue.
What is your credit rating again?
Very high.
Okay.
70.
Uncouth to ask. Even 3 deeper.
My credit rating is apparently 0.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I mean, I remember various points where it was just you slowly counting out pennies, hoping someone else would offer to pay.
How extraordinary.
Wow. Yeah. What happened to your... What do they call it for country parsons? Like a...
Stipend.
A stipend. Yeah.
Well, or a glebe. Like, I was thinking I might have a little a glebe, and a glebe, which is, I think, or a glebe house, like a little patch of land attached to the church, which provides some sort of income.
You're not talking about a great crested grebe.
Oh no, believe me. If anyone knows,
you mixing your birds up again.
If anyone knows the difference between a glebe and a grebe, it's me.
I love it.
That forms a perfect Venn diagram of my 2 spheres of knowledge. In fact, I imagine if you gave me a week or 2, I might come up with an excellent joke based on exactly that pun.
Let's leave it with
me.
Our imaginations.
Yeah. By episode 2, we'll have glebes and grebes. It'll be magical. All right. Well, Bjarmia, do you have your skills ticked in terms of like what you'd like to roll?
Yes.
Should we give that a go now, live? See if you gain anything?
Oh, yeah.
And also, you know, I guess if you've been reading up on... well, you said you're mainly reading up on the area, reading up on... What specifically about the area? The folklore, the history?
The folklore, the history, and anything from newspapers, missing people, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, for a start, let's do your tick skills, but also add history. Do you have folklore as a skill? If not, maybe occult?
I don't have either of those.
You don't have occult?
No, I've got the base.
Oh, is it
occult.
it's gas? No, but as in like roll to it, see if you improve those, see how much you improve those as well.
Okay.
And also ride, because you've been riding Judas about the stuff. So
Fantastic.
May as well add those to anything you've got ticked.
I forgot it was called Judas.
Yeah, Judas and his caveat.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, the first one I've got ticked on the list is art and craft literature.
Lovely.
So
let's give it a go.
I need some bloody dice, won't I?
Oh yeah, better get mine out and all.
Keep them in here now.
Ah, the chalice.
So, I'm trying to roll over 50. So, 51!
Wow. It was meant to be.
I mean, how often will I use literature?
Wasn't it your Beowulf that
It was.
saw you through, I seem to remember? That was profound.
Indeed.
Maybe that was just for Joseph. We all looked at the book with the fractals. Do you think we all gained some mythos from that?
So I've now got 10 Cthulhu mythos. So let's move on to
Oh, hello.
10, 7. So I'm now 27. Listen, my hearing has improved.
Thank God for that. You
Miraculously.
chuck away the old ear trumpet and might actually hear the choir when they're out of tune.
Just cleaned the wax out for once.
You have been voraciously reading, I suppose.
Yeah, all that weird stuff.
What's that awful... Oh, God, it's in that weird film, The Wild Wild West, with Will Smith and Kevin Kline, when the guy's got an ear trumpet that's built into his head, and there's a scene where he, like, tips it forward and all this wax pours out. And it's one of the most grotesque things I've ever fucking seen in my
And
life.
that's that actor is what's his face? He plays Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
Shit, it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Good knowledge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you fuck me?
Only we knew his name.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Same.
Hey, 9! 9! I've become much more persuasive. Can you believe it? Probably might not have to crush someone with my arse this time. Might just be able to talk to them.
Oh, that'd be a shame. I can see Perregrine increasing almost nothing in 10 years.
It's only 1 year, though, isn't it?
It's 1 year, but I mean, between Christmas inheritance and residence, I don't think you gained much.
I gained... It looks to me like I gained 5 points in listen and 3 points in theology. That was it. In 10 years.
I guess you probably lost a bit on listen from aging, right?
Yeah.
Just tinnitus. Yeah, how do you improve luck narratively in general, I suppose, is the interesting question, really, isn't it?
Where's he at with his relationship with God? The will they, won't they relationship that's at the heart of this story, I feel.
Oh, well, we're on Bjarmia at the moment.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I was talking about you.
Oh, but where's Bjarmia, her relationship with God? No, with Judas. No, with...
More importantly, where's
Quiet.
Bjarmia with her relationship with luck, I suppose?
Yes, yeah.
Riding. You said you went riding. I bet that, like, enough riding means you get better, you get lucky, right?
Yeah. They do say that.
You would think so. You would think so. But the horse always plays hard to get. Maybe it's because I tire him out too much on the field that when we get back, he doesn't want to do any riding at all.
Bump the pommel of that saddle.
Okay, so do I gain a D10, do we think?
Christ.
And then self-help is what you're doing, isn't it? If you're spending time with your backstory.
Yeah, I just don't think she's the sort of woman who will think of seeking professional help.
No. Well, she'll do things that help her mental health. Well, she, would see it that way, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do some mind-blowing role play, Dom, and if we all decide that it's good enough, you then get to make a sanity roll, and then you get to roll a 1d6.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So maybe a scene. Where's your ostler? Is it between you and Judas and the ostler, or is it you?
So I'm no longer in.
Maybe it's between you and your horse.
Yeah, maybe.
While you're riding. No, too many sound effects.
Oh, can I use my key connection to get a bonus die?
Oh, you can.
I'm really playing. What is my?
Remind me of your key connection.
Oh, annoyingly, my key connection is probably Robert Thompson.
Maybe not then. Unless.
Well, in that case, I shall. Maybe what I do is I throw myself into my activism.
Oh yes.
I've made contact with this consulting detective, I'm waiting for him to get back to me, and I'm probably feeling like that's good. I feel like I've done something about the situation at least, and now I've just got to wait. So I go on. I start writing letters to people, and so on, and then I think, oh, to hell with this! I'm going to go down to that school and have words with the dean.
Yes,
it's high time Auster had girls in the school. And so on a wet April morning, I go down there.
Hammer on the door.
On my two walking... Yeah, bang, bang, bang with my umbrella.
Yes, enter.
Ah! It's...
Lady Bjarmia, please, come in.
I'm dripping wet. It's hissing down like a euphemism out there.
Well, isn't it just?
It's wetter than a. Yes.
Just push your steamer up against the door.
I don't go too near windows these days, especially on the upper floors.
Quite so.
Did the secretary inform you as to why I wanted to see you so urgently?
I'm afraid not. Well, she may well have done. I'm just going through my morning correspondence now. What was it? Something to do with require? Do you require more boys?
The opposite.
Sorry, weird way of putting it. Oh,
no.
Less boys.
No, not fewer boys, but more girls. I think it's become... I think, if you'll excuse me, it's a travesty in this country that young women are not being afforded the same educational opportunities as young men when they consistently prove themselves to be very apt and capable human beings. Let me tell you,
yes.
I was recently, not too long ago, away on a trip, and I met a young man who deserved a thick ear, and there was no teaching him whatsoever, but he would be welcomed into this school with open arms. But I'm
not
sure...
necessarily, we're quite selective.
Well, all right, well, so be it. But I'm not saying we should let any old riffraff in, but just young ladies with a certain capability.
Yes. Well, I'll bear that in mind. Thank you. Anything else?
No, that won't do. No, sir.
Oh, will it not?
No.
Fuck.
I've given years of my life in service to this school, and I insist that you would consider, right here, right now, I want a commitment to at least, I don't know, 3 girls a year.
3 girls a year. All right. And he gets
because then if one gets involved in naughty business, there's at least 2 others to keep an eye on them. And if they all go round together, then no ill can come of it.
3 is a coven, after all.
Yes, 3 is a coven. I think I heard that before somewhere. Yes, he makes a big note of just writing a 3 on a piece of paper, tucks it in his drawer, and says, "Well, leave that with me, and we'll see what we can do."
I don't think you're taking me completely seriously, Malcolm.
Oh, I always take you seriously, Bjarmia. Potts, always so seriously.
And then I walk around the desk. Stand very close to him while he sat down, and I say, "Perhaps if you can't take me seriously, you'd seriously take me. And then we'd have an arrangement."
He sort of leaps out of his chair on the other side of the desk. Oh, very good. Well, I take you. Yes, well, I could. Perhaps I should escort you to the... Do you not have morning choir?
Come, Malcolm, I remember you when you were a young man at this school.
Oh, yes.
A wallflower, but you blossomed into a man.
Yes.
You owe me that at least.
I owe you. I see.
It's like Bridgerton.
I see.
For the silver pound.
Yeah. You're blackmailing me, aren't you?
No, that's not what this is at all. Malcolm, calm down. I'm just saying that we have a connection that I hope transcends any kind of reticence in your professional capabilities. You understand? I'm hoping that you can do this as a favour to an old friend.
I am. Would you like to roll a social skill?
Oh, yes.
Perhaps persuade.
Sex appeal.
Yes.
Let's have persuade.
Let's go with, yeah.
Ooh, that looks good.
It's like she's rolling charm, but you're experiencing intimidate.
Exactly that. That's what I was like. I'm not sure which one to picture.
I love it.
Well, it's a pass on my... I've rolled 14, which is a pass on charm. It's almost an extreme success on intimidate, and it is a hard success on persuade. So
Let's say it's a mixture of all three then.
Yeah.
After all, what is charm but lube for evil? And intimidate. Some people can be charmingly intimidating with
evil.
So he sort of flattens against the wall, the wainscoting, and says he takes the sheaf of paper back out of the drawer, sort of leans forward. Yes, you're so right. Connection, yes. And he's sort of sweating, and there's a look in his eyes. You're not quite sure if it's fear, desire, or just wanting to be out of the room or locked in the room. It's somewhere between all three, perhaps. But he writes you out a sort of a response and says, I will speak to the bursar and the, of course, I'll speak to... We should make something happen. Yes, you're quite right, Bjarmia.
Well, I look forward to meeting 3 young ladies at the next matriculation. In the meantime, have you heard anything of young Robert Thompson?
No. Why do you ask?
I had some correspondence with him, and it seems to have gone cold, and I worried that something may have befallen him, and I thought perhaps the school might have been informed had something like that happened. Not to worry.
No. His name hasn't come up in months.
Good, then. Well, I'm sure you'll let me know if you hear anything.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Malcolm. You've done the right thing.
Thank you, Bjarmia.
And I do feel much better. Please.
Good.
To you, I am Bjarmia. Always.
Yes, you really are. Every time.
And she says, I do feel much better about myself. I've done my bit.
Good.
And old Tompkin would be proud.
Oh, I'm sure he would. And yes, don't worry about Robert Thompson. If I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Thank you, Malcolm. Well,
goodbye then.
Good day.
Yes, good day, rather.
Back into the dribbling piss of the rain. And off I go.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. What was all that in aid of again? Someone remind me.
My sanity's not great. It's 31.
You could argue potentially that you've had this conversation multiple times over the course of the year.
It certainly felt like it might not be the first time you've burst into his office with a petition or a request and blackmailed him, saying, "Oh dear, what's happened there?"
I've failed, unfortunately. I'm on 31. I rolled my best was a 53.
Oh dear.
So maybe this doesn't go as smoothly as I thought.
Maybe it lent heavily on the intimidate, and actually she's not made the effect she would have wished to have.
Nothing happens.
That seems
he never changes. He never changes.
He never changes. He doesn't. Dean, I mean, you named him. What was his?
Yeah, Malcolm.
Malcolm, that's it.
And I think, it gets to September and I'm there for matriculation and I'm absolutely gutted.
No girls.
And after a few months of feeling on top of the world, it all comes rushing back to me. And the darkness of that place, that awful place, that stupid boy, what I did to those people, to that woman, one of the few women we met. All right, she was probably evil and mad, but I killed her. I killed a woman. And I lose a sanity point, right? Great.
Yeah.
His name's Malcolm.
Gotta love using the rulebook.
His name's Malcolm Heyman, but it's actually spelt
Malcolm Heyman.
It's spelt hate woman. Pronounce it
Malcolm hate woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Never occurred to us that he'd...
To be fair, from that interaction, I think he's got a point.
And I embarrassed myself at matriculation by furiously shutting all the windows, even though it's a hot September.
Wow.
I can't stand being near an open window.
What a depressing opening gambit from Lady Helen. Well, Reverend Peragrin, what have you been up to in the interim period, do you think?
I think
what would you have been?
I think it's probably a bit more straightforward for Perregrine. I think I returned to Newton Valence in Hampshire to my little my parish, and of course I don't have a glebe or a glebe house. I don't know why I thought that might be the case. It's a tiny little church. Just have a little vicarage, but I do. I think
a baby glebe.
Throw myself a baby glebe, a chick. A glebe chick.
A chick.
I throw myself back into the services at the Newton Valence Church there, and visit my aged mother as much as is possible, and also spend a lot of time in the neighbouring village of Selborne and around the gardens of Gilbert White, looking at making cross-referencing with his books. And I think I decide that I must do as he did and make a note of the natural history of Newton Valence, the plants that grow there just in the churchyard around the vicarage and in the woods there in the beech hangers, and about the insects, the bird life. But I purchase with what little money I have from my church income a big, beautiful leather-bound journal, and I begin writing in it.
There and back again.
And I decide this will be my life's work. But I intend it to be the natural history of Newton Valence. And yet, every time I begin writing about a worm that I saw in a garden, almost like automatic writing, the sentences begin forming themselves, and I begin to describe the worms that were thrown at us by that little boy, and that spawned and cut up and mutated, and I stop and I change tack, and I leave it for a day or two, and I go and find something else, and I find a beautiful piece of quartz and I begin writing about that. And as I begin writing about that, suddenly I find I'm writing about these fossils, these fractal fossils, without meaning to. And this happens again and again. And without attempting to, I write this crazy non-chronological story of what we experienced, and even back to 11 years past in that Christmas that I've tried not to think of. You know, when I look at the way the holly leaves form on a new holly plant that isn't pestered by the deer, the fact that they're not spiky. And they only become spiky when the plant gets older and begins to create this self-defense mechanism. And then I find myself talking about a holly bush that moves, that walks. And one day I sit and I look at this mad book that I've created that reads like some sort of fiction or the ramblings of a madman. And I realise this, although it's not what I intended, this is my life's work that I'm creating right here. And I lock it up in a cabinet with a key, and I hide the key in a drawer. And I know it's important, but I know I can't look at it again. And I do think I do that. That basically is what I do for a year and a month, is do my services and then return to my house and scrawl in my book and try to be the naturalist country parson, but end up being this mad journaler.
Oh, God. And sorry, once you're not at your parish, do you live with your mum, or do you just...
No, she's in a neighbouring village, so I do just visit.
Is she in
her.
Selborne?
Yeah, let's say she is, yeah. Oh, no,
What's her name again?
She's in Farley Wallop.
Oh, she's in... Of course she is. Farley Wallop. Is that a name as well?
No, sadly not.
No,
she's in Farley Wallop, and her name is... should have her name. I don't... Let's
Gail.
say,
Martine.
I think her name is
Rod.
Martine McCutcheon.
Judith. Probably Judith.
Judith. Yeah.
Do we have a Judith yet in this world?
I don't think we have. No.
She's Judith.
Is there a Judith in the canon? Lovely. Excellent. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I think also there should be something restorative in, like, however crazy, however out of chronological order it is, to get it out. You'd hope would.
I was actually going to make the suggestion that that isn't actually restorative, and I don't gain any sanity, because looking at how much I've lost, I actually haven't lost very much. So I suspect perhaps I didn't write on my last loss or something. So this is
sure. So let's just, if you're happy not to do like a refresh.
Yeah, but I'd love to have some luck, if that's okay.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Shall I do the same?
Yeah.
3d10?
3d10, yeah. And any other ticked skills you have?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Apparently, I passed my charm. Surprising, because it is only 25, but...
Oh, this is very Perregrine.
Nice. So my charm has gone up to 30. That's all the time. I think that's probably all that time I've spent working on my sermons. And then what's left? Botany. As I say, some of these might be leftover ticks from Christmas Inheritance, but
that's all right.
Role-playing, 84%.
And then finally, theology. I might argue that I'm like in church every day for a year, that I might just have improved my theology anyway.
I was going to say, because I gave Bjarmia the chance to improve like occult literature and ride, I think, extra on theology.
So a straight D10. It's only a 3, but fine.
And in fact, I think like...
Could I argue the same for natural world?
Yeah, I was going to say, because you've been going to gardens a lot and sort of trying to at least write that.
Yeah.
Even if it's become this other thing, you've still been studying.
Oh, that's nice. That's a 9.
Your natural world must be juicy.
Yeah, it's now 89.
Oh, hello, fuck me.
Hey, Dom, I bought this I bought this extra mature cheddar just from the corner shop. Nothing special. I bought it before, I think. But it's got a real tang to it. It's a bit like, it's really funky. It's like, you know, like normally a cheddar, its maturity, it's like, how tangy is it when you eat it? But this has got one of the, it's got like almost like a blue cheese aftertaste that lingers.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I kind of got lucky with a really funky, like they accidentally made a really interesting cheese when they were just trying to make a bog standard cheddar.
Well, it's sort of connected to that moment when I'm there on the beach scrabbling around for these
beasties,
for these fossils, and I can't grab them all. I can't get enough. But perhaps a shard was in my hand, and then we escaped on a boat, didn't we? Isn't that what happened?
We did. Well, you did.
Yeah. Well, we, the people. And so maybe there was a fragment, but of course I was hoping that it was going to be a wondrous name-making moment for me. In his monomania, on his return from the Sudan, he's obsessed with the idea that he can make a name for himself. But of course, knowing his luck, it was...
Well, do you want to...
Not in the least bit interesting.
I tell you, it's not going to be a name changer, but do you want to give me a luck roll just to see if there's anything to it?
Well, I was going to say, we could see the quality of the find.
Exactly.
It was just a wee beastie.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
It was probably half a trilobite, maybe.
Exactly.
You know, a Billy Baker, even, as they call them in the area. But,
and this trilobite accompanies me, well, all the way up to the hill, of course, as I check to see whether the Reverend, a few days later, to see whether the Reverend is still locked on that frustrating set of chains that I couldn't unpick with my 11% locksmith.
Unfortunately, when you get to within the area, daytime, I'm assuming you're going in after your experience.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
and I'm still shaking with the horrors.
Yeah, no, naturally. You encounter local constabulary, who say that all the
You
areas.
pronounce it the Scottish way. I'm glad to hear
Absolutely, and they won't let you pass because the house is still a crime scene. They suspect arson, and they've basically cordoned up the whole area. The area you feel it is, they've put a line across, including the house. So,
And I think it's fear that drives me back to Cambridge, to God's house.
yeah, could well be.
Because I don't want to become legally embroiled in a thing that. And by that time, the other two were so weak they couldn't even leave the lodging house. I was the strongest by far.
Yeah.
Partly because I'd, of course, taken a good hit of opium
Yeah.
in order to steady my nerves. And I returned to Cambridge, and as soon as is possible, I descend to London.
Yes.
Pick up several cakes worth of opium, and I hit the Lascar Den for a month.
Wow.
I take my leave, and I smash myself to oblivion.
I love your style. You lose 10 hit points.
And it's
No.
yes, exactly. And I'm on the verge of collapse.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm brought round by my dear friend, a sergeant who I served with. A chance encounter.
Oh.
He was one of the men who first helped me when I left that hole, that pit in the Sudan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know him, of course, Sergeant Sleep.
That's right.
His full name is Rebel Sleep.
Rebel Sleep. Fucking hell.
A Cornish bastard. He claims to be the son. He claims to be the son of John Sleep, seaman.
Yeah. An unfortunate name.
But
Is that hyphenated?
His father. No, seaman, as in like he was a midshipman.
Yeah, no, got you.
No, he was a whaler.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, he's a dear friend of mine, and he patches me back together and says, "You'll lose your." Well, he says it in his voice.
Yeah. Right, you'll
lose your position.
You'll lose your position, but it's better for your health.
And
you have to look after yourself.
And we get back to Cambridge just in time, and I don't lose my job, and I do put in my receipts, carefully made out to Boggle Hole.
Yes.
I return, although I've lost a lot of weight and half the man that I was.
Who are you putting the receipts into?
No, God's house, to the bursar at God's house.
Of course.
I put my life back together. I write letters to the other two, saying not very much at all, because I'm Scottish and I don't want to talk about it. But over the next few months, Sleep pops in, and we have a final conversation before he goes off for his military purposes. Sergeant Sleep still serves. But he pops into Cambridge on the train, and we have a conversation at the Eagle.
I believe you do, yeah.
Or was it the Bishop's Mitre?
Might have been the Mitre.
Maybe it was
He
the Mitre
favoured the
pub.
Mitre, I think, didn't he?
Aye, he might.
He might have favoured the Mitre.
Well, yes, of course, he claims all of that as well, which, of course, gives us a bond, because,
absolutely.
It's almost like he's not an Englishman, so I can understand him a wee bit better.
Cornish independence. As he always asks for, Cornish independence. Curno independence. Anyway, are you ever going to tell me about this, what it was? What
You know
drove
what they say, isn't it? It's everything west of the Tamar belongs to you,
That's
right?
right. Yeah, you're not wrong. So you do listen sometimes.
Now and then.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I ever tell you about it?
Well,
Aye, I should. I found a thing that could have changed my life.
oh, aye.
Reb.
Go on. A
I
thing.
found fossils unlike any man has ever found before.
Yeah, you and your fault.
Well, except my friend Robert, who I told you about.
Oh, I remember you telling me about Robert. There's still no word of him, I suppose.
If only I'd kept hold of that journal of his. It was all lost in the madness of leaving that house as it was burning.
Aye.
But the fact that there were smugglers' tunnels out of it,
Aye,
the fact that there was an organisation,
That's right.
it leads me to believe that there's more to be done. There's more to be done. There's more to be found.
You were hankering to go back there, aren't you?
Not so much there, but No, in truth. Well, we've only had the 9 or 10 pints, but I'm willing to admit I'm afraid of the place.
That's right. I'll get us another 10 in. Afraid of the place how? You burnt it down, did you not?
I like the fact that in East Anglia they serve you pints by the 10. It's unusual, but...
It's the East Anglian schooner, they call it. Yeah. It's a flight. We've got one more flight of ales, please. And a handful of sliders.
No, but seriously...
Aye. For a moment, let's
sleep.
Aye.
Only for the one.
Yeah.
The one that we came in for. The serious moment that we came in for. I've written to the others. I'm in touch with them, but...
This was the big old choir mistress and the... what was his name?
Right.
The boring old priest. What was that? Those two.
Perregrine.
Perregrine. That's
like the falcon.
Like the falcon. That's
loves his bird.
In my head. She's like a sort of a football, and he's like a little bird. That's how I remember their name.
Oh, he's like a dry streak of piss. But the thing about that man is, I trust him with my life. You know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's like the three of us served together. That's why I'm talking to you about it.
Oh, I know what you mean. There's a bond there. Can't be broken. You've been through that. But tell me, why you were feared of the place still? You burnt the house to the ground, did you not? Put an end to them.
But if one such group of people who worship the old ways lives on, then there'll be others.
I suppose.
But my thinking is they may know a few things or two about what lies in the rock also. So now I'm intrigued, I'll admit it. It's not my fear that keeps me awake at night at 2 or 3 or 4.
No.
I can keep on writing my lectures and giving notes on the old Carstairs find and the McWhirter, the McWhirter book.
Oh, it's all
good stuff.
All Norse to
my
me.
My brain keeps ticking over, but my body is telling me to go on the hunt. You know.
Aye. Oh yeah, I've seen that look in your eyes before. Yeah. Was it?
Do something.
Year after we got out of that hole. Not that I want to bring that up again, but, was it a year later you bolted? Had to make a move, got antsy. I've seen it in you, I could see that coming. So tell me what the plan is. So I don't want you going missing like this Thompson lad.
It's like mercury in my veins,
I can sense it.
I'll be here at God's house. You just come back from whatever godforsaken part of the globe they're sending you to this time.
I will. I believe it's, I can't say. Not out loud, but I'll tell you later.
I think I'd be best to visit them.
There.
Maybe Lady Helen. Well, not that I should call her that. That's a strumpet.
That's it. Didn't she have 6 names or something?
Oh, so many, you get lost.
Yeah.
At least you can always rely on Pip with Perregrine.
That's true. Yeah. Sparkling water.
What, on top of all these beers, I'll be pissing for a week.
Well, so when do you leave? You staying here for a while, you say?
I've some leave coming up in 2 days' time.
Well, best of luck with it. And now, you know where to find me?
Of course. Just write to the quartermasters and say, let's sleep out of the brig.
Aye, that's right. Here, do you show me that thing you found, that fragment?
I hand over the trilobite, which of course I now carry in my pocket nervously.
He sort of chucks it up, weighs it in his hand as if he knows anything about that sort of thing. Gives it a little spit, polishes it with his sleeve, shines it in the light. Funny little fella. Aye. You see there? It's almost like, hypnotic, the layers of it. I see why you like the thing so much. Anyway, he chucks it back into your lap. Then he next 9 beers in a row in about 10 seconds. He says, well, that's me. If you want one before you leave, just hit me up. Hit me up? That was quite modern parlance, wasn't it? I heard it from the kids down the road. Anyway, good luck with your travels.
Is a student town.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Shouldn't leave you many options.
Wise words, Sleep. And thank you.
And you. And I think, would you like to?
I watch the comforting power of his buttocks as he leaves from the mitre.
Yeah, you feel the comforting power of his buttocks as he sits on you.
And I think, well, he's almost like a minority.
Yeah.
Under the yoke of the English rule.
Almost.
There's kinship to be found.
There is. I mean, he's so fervent about it that I think there is, yeah. Even if you laugh.
Now, I'm trying to pass this, am I?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I was going to say something about that flag, the Cornish flag and the saltire.
Yeah, they
Right.
are remarkably
Weird.
similar, right?
Yeah. Just he swapped the black and the navy. It's the same, basically, isn't it? I think. Anyway, sorry,
Brotherhood of...
if I remember correctly.
No, he turns back and says that, actually. He always falls out the door and he turns back and says, there is something about our flag. Flags, isn't there? Almost like skull and crossbones. Makes you want to be a pirate. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Not around my... well, he passed long ago. I told you about my father, didn't I, John? Anyway.
I'm completely wrong. It's not that Scottish flag.
Oh, no, it's that way, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's
More like
of
the
a
English flag.
Crucifix shape.
More like the English flag, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
They're not crosses? No.
The Cornish flag is white cross on black, but it's like that.
Yeah.
Whereas the Scottish flag is like that.
And he says...
Well, you know.
He says that, sort of slips into a conversation with a couple of locals at the bar who sort of correct him on the skull and crossbones. And he goes, oh, that's right. More of a crucifix. Isn't that right, Henry? And then he staggers out the door. But as he says crucifix and the door blows open, there's a sort of spray of the rain outside that almost looks like fog for a second. And you think of that image of the Reverend on the crucifix, that cross shape, just for a split second.
One of the Cambridge University students is going, yes, this St Andrew's cross is... Oh, he's gone. Never mind. Another flight of pints, please, my good lady.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have my card. I do get a discount.
Comes back in, glasses the guy, and then leaves again. Begbie style.
The intellectual heart of England.
Yeah.
And as puritanical as ever.
Yes.
The Cambridge Puritans versus the Oxonian riches.
The Oxo Tower.
So that is a heavy fit. That's a 79, guys. That's a big fail.
Darn.
No joy.
Darn.
Sanity-wise, and I think that haunting image of too many mistakes.
Too many mistakes.
I couldn't get back, and fear drove me off.
All
the
that
hill.
talk of your bond with them, having served with them almost. And yet, what do you never do? You never leave a man behind.
Well, that's what did for me in Sudan as well. I served with those fellows.
Yeah.
And their dead bodies saved my life.
Yeah.
And what did I do? I crawled out of there amidst the rats.
That's it.
That some of which, God, the things I did in that pit testify.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of blowjobs. And I think you...
Oh, I ate
sorry.
rats.
Yes, that's the
Oh,
one.
Jesus Christ. I didn't do any sexual acts. Well, maybe there was some sort of weird priapic moment. I don't know. I was hallucinating from lots of...
Well, weird priapic
moisture.
moments aside, I think, yes, that last image is the thing that sort of clicks back in and just, yeah, it fails. The conversation has been sort of felt comforting in the moment, but you don't feel any less lost or any less sane, let's be honest. But would you like to at least tick your other boxes as you sort of wend your way back to your rooms through the sort of drizzle?
Yeah, and maybe my intellectual boxes are being ticked as I write a letter to Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts.
Yes.
Where I say that I'd like to come and visit Auster, and perhaps she'd be around for tea. This is a distracted letter. So, anthropology. Unbelievable. It's a 21. And I've rolled a 17. I've rolled nothing higher than 30, guys. I missed charm. Although I don't think I ever used charm. Brawl. That's more like it. That's a 97. That's what we want. That's a 6. Not bad. 30, which is good. It's, I think, appropriate for the fact that I used the shotgun to take the top of Crow's pate
Yeah,
off.
you deserve something for that. He can't give us a sanity gain for that, obviously, because they were innocents. Innocents caught in the crossfire.
Of course. Oh, it's a 1.
Oh, man. Not the last of the evening, I'm sure. You'll be great. You'll be plain sailing from here on in.
I've rolled a 4.
Oh my
For
god.
fuck's sake.
This is insane.
Stop using these dice quickly. Or keep on. Sunk cost fallacy.
I might change that one.
It's like sinking all your quarters into one of those one-armed bandits. It's like, one of these days it'll pay off.
This is like Jess in Message of Art. I was listening back to one of our sessions where we had to check that she was rolling a D100 because everything she rolled was under 10. Like, for about 5 rolls straight. We were like, you're rolling the wrong dice,
you're rolling
Jess.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it was insane.
You're rolling a D3 every time.
So psychology goes up to 39, which is good, because it was quite a psychologically fraught journey, especially with his empathy with Crow. I think that was good.
You empathised with those bastards, did you?
I have failed paleontology, and my increase on paleontology is appropriately enough. And
Yes.
that does.
Hey. That's what we like. So what's that in total?
So now up to 77.
Fuck.
Yeah, do you know what? Swapping that die out was the key, Dan.
Yeah, seems so.
And finally, track. Now, I think I either passed the track or I fumbled it. What do you think?
This was outside the Reverend's house.
Did I fumble it?
Yeah, it wasn't a pass.
Okay. No,
You went tripping off after the fairies, and
yeah.
they led you a merry dance. But
Echoes of Bayo.
and we'll see how we go. Maybe I'll adopt some sort of thing of mini luck refreshers between sessions. Depends how much we need them, and if I'm feeling like a cunt or not. But yeah, lovely. Since we had a tiny little scene between Dean Heyman and Bjarmia, and Sleep and Carraig-Muire. Let's say that Perregrine, as you're locking your book in the safe, having had this realization, you sort of lock it in your like a safe box in your room.
Yeah, I think
Where do you think it would be?
in a sort of, maybe in just a chest, a lockable chest in the corner of my study in my very humble little vicarage. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you've finished the morning sermon. I imagine the crowds weren't great, but it never is. I mean, it's a small, not anything to do with your abilities as a public speaker, more just to do with the smallness of the town. And let's say that you've gone home, you've looked at this thing, you've had this moment of whether it's realization or revelation or something. You feel the need to just put it away for a while.
Yes.
It isn't what you set out to do. And it's not necessarily a negative thing. You feel like it is important, but you have that compunction to just at least put it from your sight.
That's right.
Yeah. And so you decide to take a small trip over to Farley Wallop to see your mother.
Oh.
That afternoon, I think. Just to get a bit of fresh air again and just see her, I think. As you pull up at where does she live? A little cottage or?
Yeah, a little cottage. Farley Wallop's just one road through a little green and a row of thatched cottages. Barely even a village. I suppose you might call it a hamlet.
A hamlet, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a walk. It's a nice. It's maybe an hour walks, but I'm very happy to do it on foot.
Yeah. Well, you take the air, and it's a lovely sunny day, and you make your way in, and I think just as you're seeing the first of the sort of the little hamlet buildings dotted about, you hear a giggling in the hedgerow just to your left, and suddenly you realise that it is still sitting heavily on you. You get a sort of a shock of remembrance of those children in the hedgerows back in Little Walsingham, and you sort of, I think, maybe start and turn, and of course it's completely innocent, and two little kids, maybe 8 and 6, just siblings probably, just playing together, and they sort of look at you and, sort of shocked maybe to suddenly see a vicar sort of try and do some sort of rubbish genuflection. They don't really know what to do, but they, it's nothing of the sort. But you realise that all of this stuff, there's a long-lasting trauma over the last couple of decades now that you still haven't quite dealt with. And you it gives you this moment, but then you keep walking, you take a breath. The sun's still shining. there's wagtails and the chaffinches and the, you calm yourself again. But in the knowledge that there is still this darkness just underneath, you haven't quite exercised yourself of that. Not that you would, because you're not a Catholic. But as you reach your mother's little cottage, you see her out in the front garden, maybe doing a bit of weeding. She's quite elderly, so I think, it's a surprise to see her doing it. I think you probably do it for her most of the time. Would you say that's fair?
She must be in her early 70s at least, so yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh, Mother, what are you doing there? You don't need to do that. Let me take care of that.
Oh, hello, Pip. Oh, no, of course. Well, no, it's fine. I just felt like I should do something. I wanted to get outside, It's
a lovely day, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely, yes. And did he tell you to come round? Or
did you tell me to come round?
Or did you have a visitor? I had someone was here for you earlier.
I kind of tense up immediately. Who was? And trying not to let on, but I think it's there in my voice, that tension. Oh, who was that then? An old friend or?
Oh, I don't know. As he said, he was an old friend, but he had a funny hat on. Oh, very funny, I thought. Came walking up the path. I thought, well, that's very strange.
Oh, what kind of hat? Something for the sun? A big straw hat, or?
No, nothing like that. It was how would you describe it? Well, anyway, it was fine because I realised he was a messenger. It was just one of those caps they wear. And anyway, he'd come with a message from the town. He said I was to pass it on. He said that you was called back to Auster. If you could make it.
Back to Auster?
Oh, he said it was very important. It was to do with a friend of yours. You're right. It was to do with a friend of yours. Sorry. And she sort of straightens up a bit, and you can see her back's a bit. She sort of brushes the sword off her gloves. And she, it was to do with your friend, Robert, he said. There was news of your friend Robert, and he said that it was most important that you were to meet your old school friends, I suppose, back at Auster.
Right.
That's what he said on the 26th, he said. 26th, so, that's tomorrow. A short notice, I said to him. I suppose.
I don't know whether I could get the time off. I haven't found a locum. Do they call it a locum in the church? What do they call it, Joseph? You must know this.
Oh.
Locum doctor.
Yeah, what would it be with a vicar?
Parish.
With
someone to stand in. Well, let's call it a locum until we work out what it is called.
Yeah. Well, this is what I said to him. I said it was very short notice, and he said he was only there as a messenger, but that what was his name? Theodore had said that you should meet him back at Auster, and that the other two were coming too, and he had news of Robert. And he said it was terribly important, and I said, well, so is serving a parish.
Well, you told him right, Mother, that's right. But
well, good.
Well, if it's to do with Robert,
that's it. Robert Thompson. That was it. Robert Thompson. He said there was news of Robert.
Pat myself down and realise my pen is in my pocket that I'd been writing in the book with, and just think about what I might have written about Robert in the book. Well, if it's about Robert, then he's right. I probably should be there. Did you get a card?
No, he said he told me that he couldn't give me a written message. He said they could be misconstrued. He said it was easier this way. And
did you get his name, Mother?
Oh, he was just a messenger.
No, but did you get his name, Mother?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't think to ask. I felt it was rude. I saw the hat and I just thought, well, he looked the part.
Right. Of course. Well, I suppose there's no time for me to write and confirm it. I should go.
Oh.
I should arrange.
Well, I can
I should make arrangements.
I can help with that.
Thank you. Let me come in.
And she drops her gloves. She drops her gloves on the ground. Oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't grab those, could you?
No, of course. Why don't you sit down? Go inside, Mother. It's quite warm. I'll put the kettle on. And I pick up my gloves.
Just through there. Oh, thank you. She notices the slightly balding spot on the top of your head, and she says, "Oh, go on then. Go on up, you bald head."
What did you say? What was that, Mother?
Oh, it's only a joke, Pip. Don't take so hard. I expect it'll be nice catching up with your old friends again, won't it?
Yes. Well, it will be. It will certainly be interesting to hear what they've been up to.
Aye. Well, yes. Stick on the kettle, and I'll see you in there in a moment.
Very good.
And you hear her start whistling, and you make your way into the cottage. And the other two of you have had similar experiences. You've been delivered a message via someone without any writing involved. You've been asked in no uncertain terms to come back to Auster. I mean, for you, Bjarmia, you're there anyway, right? But again, it's the porter on your way in for you says, oh, we had someone in. They said to meet you in the reading room, 26th of an evening. They said they had news about Robert.
What? What news?
Well, I don't know. I didn't ask, but yes.
Did they seem? Were they blanched? Were they anxious? Were they sad?
Oh no. I think they were just a messenger.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
But yes, 26th of the evening. Quite all right. I hope you know what it means. I don't have the faintest.
And then I touch his arm quite tightly and say, "It's best. Trust me, it's best you don't."
Ah, right. Well, thank you, lady. Marjorie, Bjarmia, Potts, Helen. Sorry. And he blanches.
You have a nice evening. Peter?
I'll try.
Peter.
And I think, Henry, you have a similar experience as well. Probably still at your lodgings, even though you're thinking of it. It's just after your meeting with Sleep, I think. Perhaps the next day. I mean, where are you staying in London?
Well, no, that was in Cambridge. I invited him up to Cambridge.
Sorry, yes, that was my mistake.
So you could use the paraphernalia of the college's God's house.
Absolutely.
No doubt it's in the porter's lodge. William, what are you saying, William? There was a messenger for me talking about Robert.
Yes. Robert Tompkins or Robert...
Sorry, Mr. Tompkins.
Thompson, I did make a note. Sorry, here it is.
Thompson.
Yes, and it was... the name was Theodore. I wonder if it's Theodore Pugh. You know Theodore? Recently appointed... you will know Theodore, by the way. Not intimately, but you'll know of him. He's recently been appointed as a professor, a junior sort of professor of archaeology.
You mean the message came to Mr. Pugh?
Yes. No,
Or do you mean that
he passed through and asked if you'd gotten the message? So I assume he got one as well. But no, it was just a messenger dropped by. Said you were to meet in the reading room on the 26th of April. That the others would be there and that he had some news of Robert. I assumed it was some societal thing. I didn't want to press.
No problem, Walter. Walter, could you do me a favour?
Yes, of course.
I need a pen, paper. I must.
Oh yes, here you are.
I must make a quick note to the master here, dear sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, of course. Unable to. One day earlier than expected. If you could please. And could you send this to Frayne? Oliver, you know Frayne, the young man, Frayne.
Oh yes, yeah.
Full of ideas. He'll cover my lecture tomorrow.
Frayne will cover.
I have to make arrangements, and I'm in a mad fluster.
You're just
of
throwing
I'm
papers up.
folding papers up.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm throwing papers up, and we're using the college system. And I say, a carriage. I'll take the next one. You apologise to these students. You there? boy, no, hold back. I'll take this carriage.
Sorry.
And then
yes.
I'm out.
And you're out. And he's writing in shorthand on various scraps, and there's post-it notes all over the wall. He's connected them with string. There's just a photo of your face looking demented in the middle. And he goes...
and then I dash back in and go, no, you have that one. I forgot my stuff.
Oh, yes.
And I run through into first court. And then I don't, of course, get to stay in first court because I'm not that important.
No.
But I run through to second court, behind the garden, slightly overshadowed by a tree. And I go up to it's the new building.
Yes.
It's awful, like sandstone. Ugly block of a... it was built 50 years ago, so everyone thinks it's terribly ugly. Modern architecture. And I get my bag, I tie it to my hand.
Oh, as per. A little bit of string.
And I throw a few things into my bag.
Great.
And as I'm dashing out, I throw a note to the boy, and I say, "Send that first class."
Oh,
I chuck him a penny.
All right, mister.
To Lady Helen, Marjorie, Bjarmia, Potts.
Right, I shall. Thanks.
It's written on it, but don't get it wrong.
Good. I can't spell or read, but that'll be fine.
And the note says, "Coming, post haste."
Coming, post haste. I can tell her that in person. All right. And he sprints off. So all three of you find yourselves arriving in the reading rooms of Auster early evening on the 26th, I think. And some of you might have an inkling who's going to be there. Some of you might not. But who's going to be? Anyone going to be early?
Oh, yes, I like to get a good seat.
Yes.
Away from the windows.
Who thinks who's probably going to be last, out of interest?
I have a feeling I might be, because I would have tried to take the cheapest method of transport. Might that have been the mail coach, or would that be as expensive to take the mail coach? I can't remember.
In those days, you could probably take a parliamentary train for a penny.
Surely you just wave the little collar, show the dog collar.
But it'll take you into... You'll have to take a number of trains to get there, won't you? Because it won't be...
Yeah.
There'll be no direct train from... Although, how far are you from Auster? I mean, I'm coming from Cambridge, and I've always felt that...
Did we place it in Norfolk?
I think it's Herefordshire, isn't it?
Herefordshire.
I mean, it exists in another...
Yeah. Nussex.
Nussex. Nussex. That's it.
Nonsuch.
Nonsuch.
Erewhon.
Shire.
I think in my head it was in Cambridgeshire, like it was like...
I think it's East Anglia.
Oh, was it?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Lamebridge.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Lamebridgeshire.
I have a feeling
I might have played.
We can decide that between us.
Well, in which case I'll get there before him, because he's...
Oddshire. It's an Oddshire...
Osher.
East Anglia.
Oddshire.
It's going to take me a
Oddshire.
long while to get there, because I'm coming all the way from deepest, darkest Hampshire. So I'll be last.
Even I get there earlier. I leave a little bit late, but I arrive, and I think I'm coming into the room.
You are, and I think so Bjarmia and Perregrine, we'll start when you're all assembled, and because I think that's the point of this, right? So Carraig-Muire, as you open the doors, you've been shown up, obviously, or let up to the reading rooms. Obviously, on the door outside, you'll have seen the coat of arms of Auster, which, as we all know, is the
famous coat of arms,
and the famous and the Latin quote beneath the motto, which is, of course. But you push open the doors, and there you are. It's a lovely little room, lots of bookshelves. There's a fire in the grate, and Bjarmia and Perregrine's the last, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bjarmia's sat there with Dr. Henry, Dr. Carraig-Muire, on the sort of little leather armchairs, I think, close to the fire. There's a sort of adjoining door through there, which you think there might be some other people in. Certainly where there's a drinks cabinet and things like that. It's all very cosy. And there you are. I don't know if any of you have seen each other I don't think you have, really, since recuperating briefly in Whitby and then being sent on your merry ways.
But of course, we're in flagrante conversatio.
Oh, thank God you ended that way. Yeah.
That's pig Latin, by the way, in case you need any
I do. Please always tell me. Yeah.
The hogmen are coming! But I say, as you come in, I just happen to be saying, and then of course I said, I've gone northern.
I noticed that, yeah.
There's all right there. And then, of course, I said, you don't mean Ned Caster, do you? And this fellow said, I do. The chap who got stuck in the gorse, and we laughed. Oh, Marjorie, how we laughed.
I remember that little twerp.
Hey, I was told he was a twerp. Oh, look, on the subject.
Caster was a good man.
Oh, no, of course he was.
Oh, I don't doubt he was a good man, but he was a repellent boy. Most of the boys are.
I stand and offer him my hand.
Dr. Henry, Lady Bjarmia,
Reverend McCutcheon.
And I think I was sort of I was anxious about seeing these people, anticipating that it would feel like this awkward, like, oh, how do we pick up?
Yeah.
And I walk in and it's almost like I just saw them yesterday evening.
Yeah. At the new inn in Robin Hood's Bay. Pre all the weirdness even, maybe.
Exactly. I feel like stepping into that room with them, it's almost like the past year has been like a weird dream where nothing happened.
Well, I like the feather in your hat there, Reverend. Is that, that's a new hat?
Kind of you to notice. It's a J.
Of course. A little touch of your friend Wagner's spirit in you, I think, there.
Funny you should mention him. I feel like I may have been visited by his ghost yesterday.
Wasn't he friends with that man, Caster? Well, the fire's warm enough. And if that's not warm enough, I tell you what, Lady Bjarmia Potts will warm the cockles of your heart with her conversation.